Hey, everybody, and welcome in. It's the Poor Man Fantasy Football League podcast. We're the fantasy football show that gives you a peek inside the life and times of our Dynasty League. I'm your host, Mike, and with me, as always, is my friend Andrew. And this week, we're doing things a little different because we're starting a day early. So if something comes out that we can't talk about, it's because we're recording this on Tuesday night, not the Wednesday night we normally do. So it is the 12th, it's the 13th. Going back even further, it's the 13th.
Yes.
Instead of the 14th. Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. And yourself?
Good, man. I'm good. Hockey is rocking and rolling. There seems to be some really, really good stuff out there to keep us satiated until we have some football to chomp on.
Sorry, Marvin.
Yeah, it's okay. He doesn't get it. I don't think he's a Knights fan.
Probably not.
Probably not. But I'm also a little perturbed at how the NFL releases the schedule. It's stupid. Just post the whole schedule all at once and be done so we can see it. For some of us that do want to buy tickets and go to a game, not that I am, but it's really annoying that they trickle effect release these games and where they're playing and who and the time. And it's like, come on, can you just post the schedule and be done? It's not that big of a deal. Just let it go.
Yeah, they've probably had it figured out since last September.
Probably just
the only games that they wouldn't have set up a year in advance would be week 1, because the Thursday night game is typically
Super Bowl champion
versus the other conference semifinal loser.
Okay. Just try and see what could have been.
So, like in this case, when Detroit lost to Philadelphia.
No, they lost to Washington. Washington lost to Philly.
So Washington, no, Philly will play, and then whoever the Chiefs beat, so the Buffalo, to go to the Super Bowl. So it'll be Washington Buffalo, or Philly Buffalo first game.
Okay, all right.
And then the other games, like the Thanksgiving weekend and stuff like that, they would have had all that stuff figured out. And the European games, they would have had to figure out a year in advance so that they could
book stadiums, the whole bit. Yeah.
I agree with you. Like, what's the big secret? There is none. Just release the damn thing.
What did they gain?
Trying to get more seasons tickets holders, maybe. Hey, you never know who you're going to see dangling that carrot. I don't know. Or advertising dollars. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. We'll probably never truly know. But that's okay. Tonight, you and I are going to continue our top 5 and 5 busts storyline. We're going to do running backs and wide receivers. Before we get into that, we're going to talk a little bit of news because there was some stuff that came out. The big one being Derek Carr retired.
Yes. Too many hits to the brain.
The body. He just can't take it. 11 seasons. He's done.
Yeah.
That's surprising. He wasn't amazing or awesome.
He never was. I wouldn't put him top 10 almost every year that he played.
However, he was a serviceable quarterback that could produce fantasy points for us. Now that he's gone, New Orleans is in a weird spot because they've got Spencer Rattler coming back after last year. They drafted that Tyler Show, whatever his name is. And that's about it. They got Taysom Hill still. I don't know if they intend on using him that way, though.
He'll probably be more of like a trick play guy.
Just kind of wild.
Yeah.
Just
what that team really has no identity anymore.
No. They've kicked the can of pushing people's contracts down the road. This might be the year to finally pay the piper. Let it all just blow up. Cut everybody, pay the bills, and then reset next year with your first overall draft pick.
Could very well be, them in Indianapolis fighting for dead last.
Okay, that's your number 2. Is it Indy?
Pretty much.
Okay, Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson carrying them to the first overall pick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about some other news then. Panthers have placed running back Jonathan Brooks on the pup list, which officially ends his 2025 season. Poor kid. He's probably never going to get a chance to reclaim any kind of
Probably not.
glory.
Probably not.
And Jacksonville has released wide receiver Gabe Davis, who since that playoff run where he scored a ton of touchdowns,
Has done
that was
nothing.
it. That was his thing.
He should never ever have left Buffalo. Should have just accepted his role as wide receiver 2 or 3, and he would have had a hell of a lot better chance to make playoffs, do stuff in the playoffs, help his team maybe. Because I don't think he's a garbage wide receiver. I think his ego got in the way with him and what's his face there that left.
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs, those two were just butting heads over who was supposed to be the man and who was supposed to get the ball, and neither one of them stayed with the team, and neither one has done anything since they left the team.
Hey, whoa. Stephon Diggs had a great run, although it was brief, in Houston before his injury.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was great. C.J. Stroud and Stephon Diggs, they balled out together for 3 games, 4 games, and then he had an injury and his season was done, and now his career is probably over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just think this is another case where guys' egos just, you know what, just shut up and play the game. Whatchamacallit in Cincinnati did the same thing.
AJ Brown? AJ
No,
Green. Sorry.
AJ Green, yep.
Yeah, AJ Green.
When he left the team, didn't really do anything after that. You've got the running back from Pittsburgh who did the same thing. You got
Le'Veon Bell,
and even Najee Harris, who wasn't happy because his workload declined, and I don't think he's going to do Bo Diddley this year, except for be the backup, which is where he was in Pittsburgh anyway. But why, right? Unless you were truly the top guy, like a Justin Jefferson, just play your game, play your role.
Well, I will say this. Yep, that's about all I got to say about that.
Yeah,
it was an amazing career.
Yeah, I look at even T. Higgins, right, and Jamar Chase.
That's
right?
tough. Yeah, that one.
Those two guys, could T. Higgins be a starter somewhere else, like in Jacksonville or even
anywhere? He would be a starter anywhere. Would he be probably as good? Would he have the same level of performance opposite Jamar Chase? Maybe not. But then, does Joe Burrow? How much does he elevate
the guy's game? Yes, you're 100% right. Like, is he truly that talented, or is it the team concept that he's in the right team with the right scheme to make him look really good? And dude, you got to accept that. If that is your role, accept that role. Long term, you're gonna get paid. Like, come on, guys. Like,
okay, time to interject. I don't want to compare T. Higgins and Gabe Davis. I think T. Higgins got his money. He played the game well. It worked out. Gabe Davis, on the other hand, he had to make. I think he recognized where he fit in to the hierarchy of football wide receivers, and had to make a choice. Do I stay and play for a team that I can help and have a longer career playing second fiddle or third fiddle to whoever it is the number one guy? Or do I try and cash in now? Get my payday, which Jacksonville offered him, get him paid, play for as long as I possibly can, but I'm going to make more money and probably have a shorter career over here.
Okay, so let me spin it the other way. Okay, so he gets paid for, say, the next couple of years and really gets nothing after that. Or you accept your role like an Adam Thielen and have a nice long 10, 12, 13-year career for a little bit less money. Are you going to make more in the long run? Or are you going to, it's a gamble either way. It is a big time gamble, but Accept your rolling. Maybe you can make even more money over the length of your career.
Yeah. Interesting side note: Adam Thielen has more passing yards, touchdowns, receptions than Odell Beckham Jr.
There you go. Right. Odell Beckham Jr. flipped and flopped all around the league, touching 4 or 5 different teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bet you any money, in the long run, Thielen's going to make more money than Beckham in their careers.
Playing football, I think Beckham probably made more money
In
doing other
advertising,
things.
yeah, for sure. And it's like I said, to me, it's a gamble either way, right? But if you're going to vocalize it like Gabe Davis did, that's where we were at, because he was a mouthpiece in Buffalo about not being happy and arguing on the sidelines and stuff like that. Just shut up and play. That's my big thing is, unless you are the number 1 or number 2 player in your position, just shut up and play. Prove people with your skill.
Do it on the field, not
Yes.
in social media or
in the
with
locker
coaches.
room.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, best of luck to him because I don't think he's
Yep.
found the team yet.
Yeah. I you know what? It's going to be like you said with oh well, no, I guess really you didn't. He's going to be another situation where he's probably waiting until another wide receiver gets hurt.
Yep.
And a team is like, oh my gosh,
we need a guy.
We need that number 2 guy, and we better go get him.
Yeah, he does bring a quasi veteran presence.
Yes.
But yeah, he hasn't landed anywhere just yet, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. And I think there's going to be other wide receivers out there that are going to be as good or better. Like he won't be the first guy picked up, I don't think. I could be wrong, but
all right. Well, that is the news. Now let's get down to the top 5 and 5 busts for the running backs and wide receivers. We're going to start off with running backs. Last time how we did it is Andrew gave his top 5, then I gave my top 5, talked about it, and then we moved over to busts. You want to do the same thing? That work for you?
Sure.
Okay. Top 5 running backs for the 2025 season. Who do you got?
Okay. My 1 and 2 are very similar to yours. Just flip-flop them.
You got Bijan 1?
I got Bijan number 1. I think the second half of the season he had last year, he just took off. And if he can carry that into this year, and okay. I think the only way Atlanta is going to be successful
is running it through Bijan.
Run through him. You know, he could be another CMC where his workload gets too much for him in the long term. But I think he'll be number 1 running back at the end of the year. Barkley is he's so super talented.
He's good.
And he's on a good team.
Who has a line, who can make his system work. Yeah, no, he's in a really good spot.
When you can reverse hurdle a guy,
that was great.
You got my respect.
Yeah, okay.
Number 3, this is probably going to surprise you a little bit. Josh Jacobs from Green Bay.
Gross.
And the reason I'm throwing him up there is because they're in an influx with their wide receiver crew. Christian Watson's probably not playing for the first month and a half of the season. I think they're going to have to rely heavily on Jacobs as their offense.
All right.
Number 4, I have Genty from Vegas.
That's what I got.
I think he's going to have to be their whole offense this season, period.
Yeah. Geno Smith, he can throw the ball, but who's he throwing the ball to? Just Brock Bowers?
Yeah.
It's got to be somebody else.
Exactly. It's going to be the Genty Bowers, just like Kansas City was with
Tyreek and Kelsey. It's a two-man show.
But even after Tyreek left, it was Pacheco and Kelsey that took them to the Super Bowl. So I think it's going to be the same thing in Vegas. And then this one's probably going to come out of left field from you. But when I was looking through the stats, again, just like Robinson, this guy had a wicked second half when the team started to figure out how to use him. Brown from Cincinnati.
Chase Brown?
Yep. When I was looking through stats and
Yeah.
the guy just, they were projecting 8 points, 9 points, 10 points, and he was getting 15, 16, 20.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be a top 5 running back this
Okay.
year. He could finish higher than Jacobs or Genty even. I think it's going to be close between those three, but
Really?
I think Barkley and Bijan are going to run away with it for the
Okay.
top 2.
Well, here are my 1 through 5. I've got Barkley 1, Bijan, Gibbs. I don't see how Gibbs doesn't repeat in the top 5. Genty, because I think he's going to be pretty much the whole offense for that team. And I think CMC comes back and is big for the 49ers.
Okay. The reason I didn't go with Gibbs is that offense is becoming so balanced between passing and tight end and running back.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's got to give up. And I worry that with 2 strong running backs, are the 2 of them going to drop down a little bit in points? And maybe they could both finish, 7 and 8 or 6, 7. I'm not saying that no, they're not going to be in the top. I think those guys are the guys that are going to take a little bit of a hit in that offense. And who knows what's going to happen because they lost their
offensive coordinator. Yeah. I think the offense will take a step back as they install a new offense. I still think Gibbs on his own still has the ability of making some very big plays and being efficient. Maybe not super high touch, high volume type of player, but really efficient in the touches he does get.
I think where he's going to get hurt is in the touchdowns.
Yeah, Monty was getting all the touchdowns last year.
Yes, exactly. So Gibbs will break off your 30-yard run. And if he doesn't score when they get to the goal line,
it'll be a Monty or a Sam Laporta thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's where I see him just drop off just a little bit. Not a huge drop. If you have him, keep him. I'm not saying, hey, start looking to sell.
Except for you traded him away, you crazy dog.
Didn't I give him to you?
No, you traded him to Gabriel.
Oh.
Little baby sheep man somehow got my Detroit Lion player from you. I didn't even think it was possible. I didn't even try. I didn't even ask. Yeah. I just assumed it.
I think that was the point at the point in the season where I was like, okay, I'm done. I need draft picks.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you do your busts? And
here's my busts. Okay. No particular order. I just think in general these guys are going to bust, and by bust I mean they're not going to return either on what you paid to get these guys if you traded for them, and they're not going to live up, to the hype that has been floating around out there. So I've got Devon Achane for Miami. I think Miami's going to have a really rough season this year. I don't expect big things from them. I think Achane might be okay as a running back, but he's not going to be anywhere close to what he was his rookie year. Yeah, no. Bucky Irving. I think Bucky Irving is going to take a hit this year. As much as he had great momentum and took over and showed what he can do last year, I don't think he's going to continue that for an entire season. And I think people are going to be upset that he didn't deliver on that promise. I think Josh Jacobs is on this list because he was a touchdown magnet last year. And I don't think the team is going to get any better in this situation. They had enough wins to make it into the playoffs or push for that playoff spot. They don't seem to trust any of their wide receivers, which is why they drafted 2, one in the first round, one in the third round. I think they're going to be trying to figure something out to get that passing game attack going. And I just don't think he repeats with the amount of touchdowns he got last year. And if that happens, I think he drops out of the top 10.
Yeah, I think it's the other way around.
Right. You think he just gets all the focus?
He's going to have to if they can't get their passing game going.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't think Jordan Love is going to have as successful
a great year. If he can't get the passing game going, that whole team's toast.
Yeah.
I've got Isaiah Pacheco. He was not who we wanted him to be last year, and I think the decline is back. I think the reason why is he wasn't a high draft capital player. They don't have a huge investment into him, and he's playing for a contract. So they might just play him out of a contract. And yeah, I don't think he's going to return on what we want from him this year. That's my belief. And then Tony Pollard, same thing. Tennessee is a dumpster fire. They got a new quarterback. That's great, but I don't think it's going to translate well for Tony Pollard. It didn't work out well last year with Will Levis. I don't expect it to work any better this year, and I think we can move on from Tony Pollard.
Yeah. I've got a few different ones on my list. At number one, I got HN as well. I think Miami is going to take a step back all around in offense. I don't trust the QB. I don't trust their line. I don't trust. He's going to have flashes. He's going to have games where he gets 30 points, but then he's going to have games where he gets like 2 or 3 points.
He's not a dynasty running back to me,
and he's too small, and he's going to get beat up, especially if they have to run the offense through him with Hill's injuries and stuff like that. If they got to run the offense through him again, he's going to get his ass beat. So I don't foresee him doing anything. Well, not doing anything, but doing as much.
Okay.
Next on my list, might surprise you, Breece Hall.
Ooh, okay. So you're buying into the anti-Breece hype?
I'm buying into the whole Jets are in. They lost Rodgers. They don't have an identity. I think their top wide receiver. I think
Garrett Wilson.
He's got a foreshadowing. He's looking over his shoulder at the rookie that they drafted. I think there's going to be lots of experimental stuff going on. I believe they also drafted a running back as well, I think.
They didn't, but they did pick up Donovan Edwards, who in the 3-day mini camp apparently solidified his 53-man roster spot.
There you go.
Yeah.
So they went after an undrafted free agent who could potentially take Breece Hall's spot.
That's a scary thought if you're the starter.
Split. Like the Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards split in Michigan could work out great in New York.
But they have Braylon Allen too. Braylon Allen lived up to the need and demand when Breece Hall went down.
Yeah, exactly. So then now they got a 3-headed beast, and they might run all 3 guys, which is scary. Yep. My next pick again might surprise some people. Stevenson from New England.
Rashawn. Oh, that's easy. Yeah, that I think that's a given.
I think he's probably going to lose his job to the rookie that they drafted,
Trey Henderson. Yep. I've treated Ramondre Stevenson as the official backup to Trey Henderson, and I've traded him away in places as such. It's like, hey, look, you drafted Trey Henderson. Do you want some Ramondre Stevenson to have as a backup just in case?
And he had a great year or 2 years ago. He's just in a bad situation now.
He's not the guy. He didn't live up to what they needed, or he didn't deliver on what they wanted, which is why they drafted Trey Henderson.
Yeah. This one might surprise you just because it's me, but I got Pacheco.
Oh my goodness.
And my reasons for Pacheco are a little bit different than yours.
Okay.
And it's all about his style. He runs hard. He runs like he's a 295-pound fullback. Just balls to the walls, slams into the D lineman or the linebacker, pops back up, and we saw it last year where his body cannot sustain that beating. And I think unless he's got speed. Get to the outside and break it up the sideline. Until he learns how to play that way, he's going to continue to get hurt, and his value will go from, because I think 2 or 3 years ago, I think he was like top 4 running back.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see him drop out of the top 10, maybe even the top 15. If he can't
stay on the field, you can't support your team. You can't deliver.
He's got good hands for a third down back, but again, if you can't stay on the field, you're right. And then my last one, you have him at your number 5 as a boom. I have him as my number 5 as a bust. Christian McCaffrey.
You got
I
CMC. All right.
I
Hey.
just again, there's hype, and I will never be on the CMC hype until he has multiple years where he's not hurt.
Well, he usually gets a year and a half where he's not hurt, and then.
Yeah. So he had injuries last year. Can he get through this season not being hurt? I don't see it. I don't see it, again, because they are going to have to run a whole lot of stuff through him, and he's going to get worn down. So
just to recap, our top 5. Mine was Barkley, Bijan, Gibbs, Genty, and CMC. Andrew's top 5 was Bijan, Barkley, Jacobs, Genty, and Chase Brown, which I did find to be the most surprising. Josh Jacobs may be equally as surprising, but on the bus side, I have Achane, Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, Isaiah Pacheco, and Tony Pollard. You had Devon Achane, Brees Hall, Ramondre Stevenson, Isaiah Pacheco, and CMC. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Now let's talk wide receivers. I'm going to go first this time, let you follow up. My wide receiver list goes like this: Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Amon St. Brown, Nico Collins, Justin Jefferson.
Okay. Any particular reasons why?
I think
they're all pretty much self-explanatory.
Yeah. I would have Jefferson higher if it wasn't J.J. McCarthy coming off of an injury. So he's kind of having his rookie season. Having Sam Darnold, at least Sam Darnold had been in the NFL for a little while. It kind of like acclimated to the game. And I think that's what helped Justin Jefferson. To me, Justin Jefferson is still quarterback proof. So I think he's still going to remain top 5, but it's J.J. McCarthy's rookie season. So I put him down further on the list. And I think Nico Collins stays healthy for the year and he finally elevates himself up into this top 5 group. I think it'd be fantastic for him, especially because he's got no one really to compete with for targets. So he should dominate in all of those targets there. I think Amon St. Brown is going to be a heaven send for the Lions again this year. If things fall apart because Ben Johnson is gone, they might just turn to the Jared Goff to Amon St. Brown. I'd isolate that relationship and then run the ball between the 2 running backs and just eliminate Jameson Williams and Sam Laporta from the equation. So I think either way, Amon St. Brown has always been a PPR godsend, and I think he lives up to that again this year.
Sure.
So who do you got?
I've got Chase as well. I think he's just that offense just produces numbers. So he'll get his. Him and Burrow just have a good working chemistry together. Do I think Chase would be as successful on any other team? No. I think that just that working that chemistry that the two have together, it's like the Tom Brady and Gronk. They know where each other's going to be.
Okay.
Without that, it's an unspoken.
They're really in sync.
Yeah. My number 2, I moved Justin Jefferson up because of J.J. McCarthy. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to look to Jefferson to say, get me going early so that I can prove I'm ready to be in the league and I can prove that I'm healthy, and Jefferson's going to reap the rewards of it.
Okay.
My next 3 are guys that I think are going to move up and not necessarily surprise, but I think they're going to do better than I think people thought. My next one is Puka Nacua.
Puka, all right.
Yeah,
I can see that
because the offense is gonna run through him. My next one is McConkey.
Lad McConkey, really?
Yeah, because I think they're going to throw the ball more this year, and he's going to reap the rewards. And my last one is Thomas from Jacksonville, because he is the only thing that team
Brian
got.
Thomas.
Yeah, he's the only thing that team's got.
Except for Travis Hunter.
But it's going to be weird to see how they play him.
True. I toyed with the idea of Brian Thomas, and every time I tried to justify it, I'm thinking like, But Travis Hunter could totally steal the show. This might turn into be like a Jamar Chase, T. Higgins kind of thing. But I don't know who's going to be Jamar Chase and who's going to be T.
But it could be where Hunter has the dropsies because it's a faster game now.
Maybe.
And better DBs than in college. Because in college, that division was not all that tough.
Okay.
So the level of DBs that he's running routes against, so I think Thomas, he could reap the rewards of Hunter by the end of the year, maybe just a DB.
Yeah.
Because he can't produce as a wide receiver.
I like the pick. I don't dislike it. I think it's a great pick here. I was just wanted to share my concern of why I didn't bring him into the list. Lad McConkey, though, hey, I do like that one. That one's a surprise to me that you got Lad McConkey up in here.
I think he's on a real incline for projection. His ceiling is way higher.
Okay.
I think his ceiling, like you look at CeeDee Lamb and St. Brown. I worry that, like in St. Brown, there's so much offense in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Could his ceiling be lower than
capped?
McConkey?
Yeah, I think it's capped for sure.
Yeah, and Lamb is going to live and
He's
die
the only
by.
thing.
He's going to live and die by Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
and if Prescott does garbage again this year or gets hurt again this year, Lamb is going to go nowhere.
I just think CeeDee Lamb is good enough to work with any QB. And as long as he stays healthy. Last year, he had some shoulder issues, and when Dak went down, his numbers took a beating, but he was still putting up numbers, right? He was still reliable. That's why I like Lamb. I think he can still put it together. Yeah, sure. No, good list. I like that. All right, let's do busts.
Okay.
Here are my 5 busts.
Okay.
Davante Adams. I think he's washed. I hated watching that video, and I use the word hate, and it's not a great word. But it's what comes to mind when I watch the video where they announced him to the team. And he's sitting in the room, and you can see all the other players, and they do a highlight reel for Davante Adams to build him up to the team. And I'm thinking, who needs that?
Yeah. Why do you guys sell the guy?
Yeah. Are you selling him to the team, or are you selling him that he can still do it? That you're building his level of belief.
Good point. Very good point.
That just really weirded me out. And I'm like, if that's what you got to do, or if that's just part of the thing, count me out. I don't want anything to do with Davante Adams this year. And to me, I think that's why Puka is in your list, is because Davante Adams can't get it done, and they just feed Puka because they want to win. Next on my list is Jackson Smith-Njigba, and this is not a slight on him. I think he showed what he can do and what he's capable of last year, and that was with Geno Smith. That's now gone, and he has Sam Darnold, who they have a 1-year deal with, and Jalen Milroe looking to take over. And I bet you, I'll buy you a beer just to say, hey, man, I was right. Let's go celebrate. Sam Darnold is not the starter at the end of the season, or by the end of the season, that somebody has taken over, whether it's Jalen Milroe or somebody else. And that really hurts JSN. And I think for all of us that did buy in and waited and saw, and now we're going to be disappointed again because the quarterback play and the change of the offensive coordinator might not live up to the hype. So I am out. Chris Olave, and I made this selection before the retirement announcement. And now with the retirement announcement, it just makes even more sense.
Yeah.
I had zero faith in what was going on in New Orleans. So I was like, OUT on Chris Olave, and then that happened. This one, I'm guessing you probably have the same player, and that's Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is going to receive the football from Justin Fields. Justin Fields was great for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he was terrible for fantasy. Terrible. Couldn't get things done. And I still believe that is the case. They are not going to be a pass-first offense if Justin Fields is the quarterback. They're going to be a run-first offense. They might run all 3 of their running backs. They might use the tight end that they drafted in the second round. And then Garrett Wilson is, I can't trust him right now. And then Tyreek Hill. I think he's just messed up his career. He's made some bad choices on and off the field.
And he just had surgery again.
On what did he have surgery on?
They pulled the pins out of his wrist, so he's probably not going to be fully
Ready to go for camp.
ready to go. Yeah. He's still going to have all the speed in the world, but if he can't grip and catch the ball,
That was a problem last year.
yep, yep.
Oh, okay. Well, just
I mean, looking at going back and looking at the stats, they had projected him to get like 280 points last year, and he only got about 150. That's a big drop off. And I've got Hill as my number one drop off
okay.
guy.
Okay, so he's your first bust.
Yeah, and
Who else you got?
Number two, and I think this will probably surprise you, and I think it's just because he's getting a year older, a few steps slower, and I think that the offense is going to surround themselves with their running back, who was so successful last year. But I got AJ Brown as my next.
Oh wow, I am not liking that as an AJ Brown owner.
I just, you know what? I think they're gonna use Barkley like crazy this year because he was so powerful.
It works. He was effective. He was amazing.
Run me to the goal line and then let me push my quarterback in.
Yeah. Okay.
I got Garrett Wilson is next, and I kind of talked about it earlier with Breece Hall. That team is just in disarray. I got Mike Evans.
No.
And again,
no, don't do this.
I think it's due to age and injuries. I don't know that, and they drafted a wide receiver, so yep. So he's gonna have somebody looking over. He's gonna have to look over his shoulder at the young kid coming up.
But this has got to be Mike Evans last year. He can't have all of these years of 1,000-yard seasons.
Yes,
this has got to be it.
And you also saw my list from last week, where I had their quarterback Baker Mayfield on my decline list as well. And then my last one, in contrast to you, I have Nico Collins.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of faith in the Texans this year.
Yeah. They burned you last year. You were a big believer in CJ Stroud, and he let you down.
Yeah, and I think again, if Nico Collins can't stay healthy, it's going to really affect the offense altogether. And I think the problem is going to be they're going to try and rely on him too much too early. And it's a situation where can I handle the workload? Right?
Okay. I like Nico Collins and his relationship with CJ Stroud.
If they can
but
get
he needs to stay healthy.
Yeah. If the two of them can get that magic back, I'll gladly eat crow and say, you know what, I was totally wrong with Nico Collins. But I would be cautious to have him as one of my starters. Maybe as a flex player and see how he goes. Because maybe he comes in and steals you some wins, right?
Maybe.
So on both of our lists for both weeks, I think we only had one rookie, and that's Genty.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense because what quarterback makes it top 5 rookie year? What tight end? Okay, it's happened with Sam Laporta and Brock Bowers, but it's really hard to predict that.
Exactly.
And wide receiver, I don't know if a wide receiver is ever.
Maybe Chase Hill. Or Chase Hill. Jamar Chase.
Because maybe
the first 2 games where he dropped all those balls and everybody started questioning him, and then he exploded.
Yeah, maybe
his rookie year, maybe he was top 5, but you're right. It's tough because there's so many wide receivers. You're looking at minimum 9 on every team, or sorry, minimum 3 on every team. So you got 90 guys that you're competing for top 5.
It's tough.
It's tough for a rookie to become.
And you've got 2 second-year guys. You've got Ladd McConkey and Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas almost made the top 5 last year.
Yep.
I guess that's a guy. Okay.
And even Puka, his first year, was probably close to the top 5.
He had a pretty good year. Yeah, no, I definitely like the list. So to recap the wide receivers, my top 5 was Chase, Lamb, St. Brown, Nico Collins, Jefferson. Andrew's top 5 was Chase, Jefferson, Puka, Lad McConkey, and Brian Thomas Jr. Our busts were Devontae Adams, JSN, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Tyreek Hill. Andrew had Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, and Nico Collins. Wow. Good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Just going to kill that doc. How are you feeling about this weekend?
I'm sorry, I'm blanking. What's going on this weekend? It's long weekend.
3 out of 4 of our drafts are starting this weekend.
Oh, okay. Oh, geez. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of a draft right now
Oh,
in a league called the L effing Empire League, for which Donnie is in, Juan is in, Bryce is in, and then we've got our friend Corey Bittner, Corey. I can't remember his first name, Mr. Corndog. We've got Dad Bod God, and then we've got 2 of Juan's relatives in F Those Picks and RN4L661. And then, it's Peeps, just for the its and giggles of it. So, big league, it's the idea is you have to win back to back to win money.
Oh, yes. I remember you guys talking about this one.
Yeah. And so this is the second draft that I've done. By comparison, the first round is pretty close to what we saw from the other league, but the second round, wildly different.
Okay.
Both of them are super flex. Both of them have the same scoring style formats. So not a significant difference, but just more information or more decisions have been made on who guys want and what they like.
Okay.
And I like it. I like the players that I drafted. I was hoping some things would have broke my way with selections, but more of these quarterbacks have moved up. So instead of being late second round, so Cam Ward went 3rd overall. That makes sense. That's where he went first time.
3rd
I think that's
overall?
And yeah,
were they super flex, did you say?
Super flex, yeah. So
okay, yeah.
Genty and Hampton went 1-2, then Cam Ward, and that's kind of how it goes. And then you've got 4, 5, and 6, and that seems to be a switcheroo between Travis Hunter, McMillan, Henderson, and Judkins. Like those 4 kind of go there, and then Tyler Warren moves in. Okay, cool. But yeah, just interesting that all of the quarterbacks, all of the relevant quarterbacks that could be drafted, went in the first 3 rounds early. And I mean earlier. So
where did Shedeur go?
He went 204.
I think he's going to make a bigger splash year 1.
I think he might be the starter year 1.
He's going to be he'll probably be he'll steal the starting job. But it's such a bad team. Like Cleveland is going nowhere. But I think he will be a Baker Mayfield's first 4 or 5 years. He'll have a first great year, and then he'll fall off the next few years. But we'll see. I mean, he's sitting there saying, "I'm going to be the next Tom Brady," but
yeah,
I stop comparing yourself.
Good luck. Good luck to you, kid.
Stop comparing yourself.
Yeah. All right. So when I'm looking at, in the other Superflex league, Shedeur Sanders went 303. So that guy, if it works out that way, is probably going to get,
good
that's a steal of a draft pick right there.
Yeah. And I think with Shedeur, it's going to be all matchups. Where he's going to get his points are going to be against teams like maybe Jacksonville or some of the weaker teams. But then when you go against Baltimore, or you go against Kansas City or teams that are having better defenses, are they going to just shut them down?
We'll definitely find out.
Yeah. So Don't watch me. Watch him after I sack him.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Something else I want to note before we go is Donnie just posted, I guess 15 minutes ago, that he officially made a trade. He tried to trade Olave all offseason and finally got the deal done. Gabriel asked, "What did you get?" So we'll wait to see. So at least
In which league?
I don't know. He didn't say which league, and it's not one that I'm in with him because I haven't seen anything come up. So lo and behold, Donnie wanted to unload Chris Olave. He did unload Chris Olave. And I think the consensus here is probably that, yeah, he's probably a good idea. If you can get rid of him, get what you can for him. I am curious to see what he did get, though.
Probably a pick 3, like a round 3 or a round 4.
Ooh, I wouldn't
You
let
think
him
he
go
drops
for
off
that.
far?
No, I don't think he dropped off. I think you'd have to do a couple third rounders to make that happen. I'd probably take a second rounder if I'm being honest. If I had Chris Olave, I'd probably take a second rounder next year and kind of gamble and hope that it's an early second. Yeah, just to get out from holding that bag.
And just so people know, in Poor Man and in No Fun, I might be throwing out some trade offers.
Ooh, what do you got left to trade?
Picks.
Oh my goodness. No way. Don't you be teasing this guy. I love my draft picks.
I got
You have the 101.
I've got 9 in No Fun.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I've got 11 in Poor Man.
Do you really?
Yeah. No,
10. You've got
10.
the 101, the 201, the 301, the 501. You got the 103, the 303, the 208, the 308, the 309, the 310.
Yes.
And
the 501.
Oh, let's see. What? Who has the least amount of picks? Donnie's got 4. Juan's only got 2. He's got a 4th and a 5th rounder. He might want some picks, maybe. Chervin's got all of his. Hey, Chervin watch is over, by the way. Chervin has returned.
Yes,
He's spoken up into the group chat. That's awesome. It's good to have him back. Bryce got 4 of his picks. Slick has got all of his. Josh has got all of his plus 1, so he's at 6. Gabriel's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Marvin. What does Marvin got? Oh, Marvin's only got 4. And what do I got? I've got 4.
So,
well, I imagine you're probably going to want to keep the 101 and the 103.
Yeah, the 101 is not going anywhere for sure. The 103 is probably not going anywhere. Okay. But my second and third round guys might be
on the block.
Yeah.
201, 208. Okay.
I might. Yeah. And then in the other league, I've got the 102, the 107, the 109, the 202, the 205, the 206.
Well, that's good. You're in good company right there.
302, 306, 309.
Okay, your third rounders, I think at this point you can probably move those for whatever you can get for them, because I think you're set in your first 2 rounds. Yeah, and in Poor Man, your 101, 103, and 201 can probably net you some pretty good stuff. You could probably maybe cut bait from the 208 and beyond and see what you can trade up to go get. Because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 picks in the third round.
Yes. And I think somebody was trying to offer me another third round pick for a player the other day. I declined it because I didn't think it was worth it. But
yeah, owning the entire third round, that's interesting. Well, I can tell you I can narrow it down who it might have been. It might have been Josh, Slick, Bryce, Chervin, or Donnie. But because Chervin's been gone, it's probably Donnie. Then there's Bryce, Slick, and Josh. Yeah, it's not a lot of third rounds left to go there, boys.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, I am excited for the draft this weekend. We have 3 drafts. I have 3 drafts going on. I got a couple. There is one league I'm in. The draft started. When did the draft start? The draft started last week, but the commissioner of the league is an absolute twit and hasn't accepted everybody's payments yet. So, why are you letting people draft? So the guy who had the first overall pick wouldn't draft.
Yeah.
And it's
I'd
like,
hold it up.
everybody pay, and then we'll draft. But I'm holding this pick. I'm not moving it until everybody drafts. And then the commissioner's like, what's the big deal? You think I'm going to have to chase down people to pay?
Obviously, you
Lo and
are.
behold, you're chasing down people to get them to pay.
Yep.
Yeah. And didn't set the draft order. We had to figure out and tell them what it was. Oh, man, it was just...
See, that's a league I would just drop out of. It's not worth it. Unless you got the top team and you're making money.
I'm
But
absolutely stacked in this.
But the thing is, though, are you actually going to collect your money?
Okay,
not everybody pays, right?
It is league safe, and there's routes that I could take to make sure that I get paid.
Yeah.
So once that's all settled and satisfied, be good to go. But it is a tight end premium league, and I've got Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. I've got Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, Michael Pittman, Jameson Williams, and Marvin Harrison Jr. My running backs are Joe Mixon, James Cook, Brian Robinson, Isaiah Pacheco. I'm feeling like I got a really good team, and I traded away Kenneth Walker and something else to get the 105. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah,
okay,
I'm
don't
good with
walk
this.
away from that team.
It's hard to walk away. The only thing I don't have that I wish I did was an elite quarterback. I have Dak Prescott. That's it. It's the only quarterback I have. I picked up Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston off the waivers just to help round it out. But yeah, I don't have that blue chip quarterback, and nobody wants to release any. Oh, I also have Roma Dunze.
Well, I guess you could draft. You could surprise everybody and take
Cam Ward 105.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking what I might end up doing is trying to flip these picks to try and get me a quarterback. It is a 12 team, and one guy is hoarding a lot of quarterbacks, which doesn't really help anybody's situation. And half the team is non-communicato. Like or communicado. They don't talk. They don't engage. They don't anything. So there's just like 3 or 4 of us that actually get trades done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you've got you don't need anything at any other position. Like, what if you gave up like your 105 for like a CJ Stroud or a Jordan Love or somebody like that that's a little bit more established. I mean, you got a decent quarterback with Dak. You know he's going to put up fantasy points. He's just not going to go to the playoffs.
Correct.
So I mean, you just need your backup in case he gets hurt. So really, you could dump, your first round and your 5th round for another quarterback.
Yeah.
If the guys will move stuff, right? That's the big thing.
That's just it. There's only a couple guys that are willing to make actual trades. So it's difficult when that is what you're looking at. And there's one guy in this league who makes like terrible trades in an effort to try and make his team better, but it never pays off. So he has no first round picks. He's got a slew of second round picks, but he's got Joe Burrow. He does not have a single starting running back, not one. Every running back is a backup or doesn't have a job. Tajay Spears is his best running back.
That's rough.
Yeah. And his best wide receiver is T. Higgins. Who else has he got? Second best wide receiver, just to put it into context for you, Ricky Pearsall.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it is a dumpster fire of a team. And he trades it to be this way.
Wow. Just looking to throw his money away.
Oh, yes. It's such like, what are you doing? And it's like, okay. But whatever. That is what it is. So yeah, that's my goals. I need to get a better quarterback, and I think I have a really good shot this year.
There you go. Good luck with it.
All right. Well, folks, that's it for this week. Come back next week. Let me tell you what we're doing. Give me a second. I'm going to bring this up here. Next week, we're going to be doing... Yeah, we're going to be doing our league draft review. Our draft is Saturday. We don't know how long it's going to take. I actually expect us to go pretty quick, as long as everybody is
I have all the picks. Maybe I could drag it on for a month.
Oh, don't do this. You're just making it painful. Yeah, so
wait till midnight Saturday to make my first pick. Then somebody else picks, and then I'll wait till midnight Sunday.
Make the
going
next
into
one.
Monday for 103.
Oh, Andrew, I will drive to your house, man. Don't do this. All right.
If nobody trades with me, I will drag it all out. Especially the third
that's
round.
Threatening.
Especially the third round with 3 picks in a row.
Yeah. I can tell you right now, I'm not overly excited about the guys in the third round. It is.
But this is where you're going to get the third round.
You don't know anything.
And the third and fourth round is where you get lucky and get your Puka Nakuas. Or you'll get your quarterback that surprises the heck out of everybody. Like a Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm. Like, I know who I want to draft. I know I've effectively built my want list, and depending on who is available at the times that I'm able to pick, I'm happy to get to those players. But
see, I did mine a little bit differently. I did mine as for each round or for each pick, like my 101.
Mm-hmm.
I want a running back.
Okay.
Like my 10th pick, I have like running back / wide receiver.
Okay.
Like I went by position, not by
best player.
Yeah, because I put a guy's name in there,
mm-hmm.
and inevitably he's going to be gone.
He's going to be gone. Yeah. To give you an idea, somebody in one league that I saw drafted RJ Harvey with the number 2 pick. RJ Harvey is a 25-year-old rookie running back. Granted, he's in a good spot in Denver, but I don't think he's worth the 102.
I don't think he's worth the 102, but he's probably taking the starting job.
Well, he should have the starting job. There's nobody there to compete with.
Exactly. So he could put up a 105, 106, 107 in that area.
Top 10 performance.
Yeah. But I don't think 103.
102 though. Would you go as high as 102? Like, to me, that is
no.
Yeah.
There's two other guys that are better.
I have my top 20 guys that I believe have a high chance of being successful. Beyond that is, you know what? I like this guy. I could see a path for success, but I don't know enough to whatever. So I think I'm going to be really wishy-washy when it comes to third rounds and beyond.
Yeah, and to me, it's when I look at the draft, do I like the team the kid went to? If I don't think it's a good fit for the player,
mm-hmm.
he may be the next number up there, but I don't know that I'm going to take him. There were some kids drafted that I didn't think went to the right teams. Like Shedeur Sanders, that team is not going to. I don't think he's all that great anyway, but that team isn't going to elevate him. I don't think.
It's not going to help him find success.
No.
Yeah.
And guys that went to like Jacksonville and the Jaguars and the Panthers, because those two teams took some offensive players,
right?
I don't. Those teams are not offensive juggernauts to me. They're not putting up a boatload of points like a Cincinnati or Baltimore or San Francisco can, right? When those teams get rolling, they can put up 45 points a game, which is going to get you a ton of fantasy points. I look at them as like New England, who's going to score, they're going to win their games 12-13 or what have you. It's not going to be a ton of points. And that, some of the guys that are landed where they land, I don't know.
Okay.
So, yep. So, sorry, I know I dragged it on a few more minutes.
No, that's okay. Like that's right. Part of the fun of doing this is that we get to talk, right? We get to have a conversation about our thoughts, our feelings, our intuitions that we have, and why we think the way we think about a player, good or bad.
Yes, you guys got my most deepest inner thoughts. Thank you, therapist Mike.
You're most welcome. The bill is in the mail. Yeah, hopefully our postal workers don't go on strike, so you get
There
that
you
bill.
go. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, that does bring us to the end of the show tonight, guys. Thank you very much for listening and sticking around with us. Enjoy the show when you do hear it. I look forward to drafting with you all this weekend. Make the most of it. Have fun. That's what it's all about. From one poor man to another. Remember, if it's not fun, it is not worth doing. Good night, everybody.
Have a great week, everybody.